Hi, welcome. Today we're looking at a miracle from the book of Mark, chapter 3. Jesus heals a man with a withered hand. Now, this miracle has the fulfillment, and so today we will be first reading it, and then we will look at the spiritual meaning behind it, look at the fulfillment. So, let us start reading. Again, Jesus entered the synagogue, and a man was there who had a withered hand, and they watched him to see whether he would heal him on the Sabbath, so that they might accuse him. And he said to the man who had the withered hand, "Come here." And he said to them, "Is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do harm, to save life or to kill?" But they were silent, and he looked around at them with anger, grief at their hardness of heart, and said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And he stretched out, and his hand was restored. The Pharisees went out and immediately held counsel with the Herodians against him, how to destroy him. Again, Jesus performed another miracle, a great miracle, and it helps us to glorify Jesus. It helps us to think of who Jesus really is, who can perform miracles. He is Christ, He is the Son of God. And Jesus didn't always perform one type of miracle. He did many various miracles, healing various ailments of the physical bodies. Like, healing the mute, the deaf. Jesus healed the lepers, all kind. But today we are looking at the withered hands. And so, as a man going out to build his house, he made the design of the house. And then he built the house according to that design. When the house is completed, it becomes the fulfillment. The way of God is that, the design and fulfillment. So today, miracle, Jesus healed a withered hand man, is a design. The fulfillment is Jesus healed many in great numbers. People who have spiritual withered hands. From the moment of Jesus' resurrection to the end of time, for all people, all kind, all type, for all generation. And Jesus will perform that for the fulfillment time. And the healing is fulfillment healing because it's long lasting. And here this man received a miracle healing with a hand, and it lasted only for the earthly life, for his earthly life. And so when we look at this miracle, we need to ask the question, what is a spiritual withered hand? So a spiritual withered hand is our ability to receive God's blessings. So when God wants to give to us, we have to receive with our spiritual hands. So if there is something wrong with our spiritual hands, we need to ask Jesus to heal us. Because God, in His infinite wisdom, has a lot in store for us. Because He wants to give us the fulfillment. He wants to give us a lot. Can you imagine the people who lived in the Old Testament before Christ Jesus come? They are only live in the type, in the design only. And we live in the fulfillment time, and God has a lot in store for us. God wants to give us a lot. And in particular, I want to share with you a verse from Corinthians chapter 15, verse 40 and 41. There are celestial bodies and there are terrestrial bodies. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For star differs from star in glory. It's very important that we understand these two verses. So the glory of the sun, the moon, and the star is God intentionally want us to have in this fulfillment time. The people who belong to the Old Testament before Christ comes, they cannot have the glory of the star and moon and sun. And we who live in the fulfillment time after what Christ has done for us, dying on the cross and rose again to life, the heaven is open and God pour out his spirit upon the earth. In particular, that three: the glory of the moon, the glory of the star, the glory of the sun. And this is what belongs to Christ, the inheritance that God the Father gave, and it is belong to Christ, and Christ shares with us. So we are co-heir with Christ. So when we are healed of our spiritual withered hands, we are able to receive all three of these glories: the star, the moon, and the sun. But if something is wrong with our spiritual hands, we will not be able to receive all three. We might just receive one, and we are contentedly happy, and we thinking, I am saved, no need to worry. And we are missing out the glory of the moon and the glory of the sun. So that's why it's good for us to surrender our spiritual hand to Jesus, for Jesus to heal us, because Jesus, in his infinite wisdom, intentionally performed this miracle because he wants the fulfillment to come. Just like us, we intentionally make the design of the house so that we can build the house. So Jesus wants to heal spiritual with the hands. Jesus wants to heal our ability to receive the fullness in the fulfillment time. And of course, if we only perform and only believe and only do partial of the Bibles, we cannot have the glory of the Son. We need to do the fullness of the Bible, understand complete of the Bible, and do it in full. If we are only partial, doesn't matter what you belong to, Catholic, Orthodox, or Christian. If you are partial of the Bible, you are partial. And if you are partial, you cannot receive the glory of the Son. And so, with this miracle today, it is good for us to surrender our spiritual hand to Jesus, because it is our ability to receive what God has in store for us at this fulfillment time: the glory of the star, the glory of the moon, and the glory of the sun. And you might want to know, what is the glory of the sun? It is the glory of God. So if you read Jesus' transfiguration, his face shone like the sun, his clothing dazzling white, like nothing can be that white, and his hair as white as wool. So this dazzling white that Jesus has is the glory of the Son, it's the glory of God, and Jesus is sharing his inheritance with us. We are co-heir. So we just need to surrender, and Jesus will lead us, and Jesus will heal us, and then we can receive all that we are meant to receive: the glory of the star, the glory of the moon, and the glory of the sun. Thank you for joining me today. That is all for today.